All right, the meeting is being live streamed. Preparing to live stream.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Abundance Book Club with myself, Tabitha Benway, and today I'm with Vicki Rude. Hi,
Vicki. Hi.
So we are still reading Creating Money, Attracting Abundance. I'm on the road today, headed to a business mastermind retreat this weekend. So that's why I'm in my car, but I'm super excited to be with everyone this morning. So remember that, yeah. So good. Such good stuff. Oh my gosh, the conversations this week, Vicki, I know you've gotten to be part of them. They've just been so juicy, haven't they?
They've been really, what I like about it is it's not just talking about it at this level that's over my head or in theory. They've been real everyday conversations about how to actually create abundance in our lives. It's awesome.
Yeah. The community that we have and the community that is still coming together, everybody's welcome into this space with us. Everybody has this beautiful way of being authentic, like being real, like life is life, right? And I think so often I have the experience of seeing people online or showing up and not just fully being themselves and just saying, hey, yeah, life is messy. Let's get messy together and let's grow together and make a difference in our lives together. And so, yeah, these conversations have been just really like down to earth life stuff. And so it just fills my soul. And that's what I'm getting from the other, people that have been part of this with us. And in these conversations, even the conversations after the lives, because we get really deep with people that aren't necessarily on the lives, but dive in with us. And it's just so delicious. The word that I feel it's like this deliciousness that I'm experiencing.
It's been a wonderful first week of doing this, and I am just super excited to hear what the topic is today.
Yay! Well, we're going to jump into that here. I do want to share with everybody who is watching, if you want to jump in the Zoom room with us, I highly encourage that. You, of course, can just listen anytime. It's 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, and gain the information that we're extracting from the books that we're reading. But you can also jump into the conversation with us and actually activate abundance in your life through doing activities, through sharing. Everybody here has wisdom that somebody else doesn't have or that other people don't have. So I am a stand for us all to put into the pool what you have and the wisdom that you have gained from being you and living the life that you've lived. And then also extracting and being here to glean from what others have to share and grow as well. So come join us in the Zoom room. First off, your invitation to join us in the Zoom room, you can go to tabithabenway.com, get the link, register for the link, get the link, and come and pop in the Zoom room with us. So come join us. The conversation today is from the same book, and page 37. We talked about it briefly on Tuesday, but we're going to dive deeper today. And that is magnetize what you truly want, not something that is a compromise. So reading that again for you, magnetize what you truly want, not something that is a compromise. It's so easy to play small or think. I was even thinking about that on my drive, how there was a time in my life where I felt like I needed to hold on to what I had while trying to create everything else. And I was compromising because I saw what was in front of me. I saw what was current. I saw the way that everything I had built was, and had a belief. It's like our what we see creates our beliefs a lot of times, instead of really allowing ourselves to let go of that and see beyond and see what's possible beyond. And that really anchored me in and made it challenging for me not to compromise. And I was compromising on so many levels. And so I think it's just something that we all get to do, is to really look at, what do we want? What do we truly want? And not let ourselves compromise.
Well, yeah. And when we are identifying that, like for me, if it's something that I think is over the top, right? And I have that voice. Well, who do you think you are, right?
Mhm.
And who am I not to, right? Abundance, us having abundance doesn't take away from anyone else having abundance, does it now?
Mhm. Yeah, and that's such a strong belief. It was definitely one that I had, which is if I have, then other people don't have. I'm
Mhm,
taking, right? That
mhm.
belief that comes along when we're kids, and you're like reaching for the big piece of whatever on the plate, the big cookie or the big piece of cake, and somebody
Yep.
whispers in your ear, "Don't take the big one." And it's like, why not? Nobody's missing out, right? We have this belief that other people are going to miss out if we receive in our lives. And actually, the opposite is true. When we are a stand for ourselves to live our big lives, to go after all the things that we want to create, those are the things in our heart. Those aren't the things in everybody else's heart. So the things in their heart, they get to go after. And we're actually being the permission for them to step into their fullest lives. So we are actually creating more abundance in the world when we choose that.
It always reminds me of what you practice grows stronger, right? So
Mhm.
the more you put something out there, the more it's going to grow. And I can, if I'm playing small, then I'll get more small, right?
Mhm.
If I'm showing up and living out loud and being on purpose, it seems like then things flow in that I never had any idea were possible.
Yeah. 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 And, another thing that as I read this, magnetize something, or magnetize what you truly want, not something that is a compromise. Um, Really, what really comes through for me is when we listen to our heart and we truly can hear it, because I think that was the big thing. It took me forever to really hear what my heart even wanted. I had shut it down for so long for what I should do or what everybody else thought. And it took me a long time to open that up. But as we start to open that up and as we truly start to hear it, we can be sensitive to more and more sensitive to what is a compromise for us. And it is that there's a next level and a next level and a next level. And to just allow the opening and the listening to begin to happen is the first step, and is the next step, right? To really listen in at a deeper level.
Well, and I think that listening is not, I think what you said was so powerful there because you had to allow it. You had to
Mhm.
allow yourself to hear it, right?
Mhm.
Because I think that there's that point where I didn't even think I had a vote, right? I didn't think I could, I had no idea how to tap into what I wanted, right? How do I
Mhm.
know what I want? What? And so it's that whole getting quiet and I think you said this to me the other day. What is your body telling you?
Mhm.
What is your body telling you? And that is I don't know, as a beginner when I'm starting anything new and I'm because so many people are at this place where they say, I don't even know what I want or whatever. But when you play with it, right?
Yeah.
And have fun with that, I don't know, journey of discovery and uncovering and deciding it's an adventure.
Yeah. I thought I didn't have any intuition. I thought I just didn't have any. Like, how do people have intuition? I don't have any. And we actually all have it. But what happens is we have been trained to listen to other people. We've been trained that other people are right. And yes, there's a lot of wisdom out there that we can pull from. So it's not that we don't pull from that collective wisdom and listen, but when we think that other people are right, then our own intuition becomes something that we don't hear. We don't feel that inner, I mean, it really is our body speaking to us. I love this so much, this understanding that our brains, a lot of times we spend time in our head and listen to the chatter and we listen to the thoughts and the pros and cons. And, you hear people say, write a list of the pros and the cons. Well, sometimes we just need to get out of our head, and our brain doesn't stop here in our head. We actually have our whole spinal cord that taps into our to our body, which has an understanding that our mind can't create logic around. And so, yes, logic is valuable. It supports us and we get to use it, but it can also set us in a spin. Have you ever had the experience of trying to make a decision and you feel like you're just, and you can't just slow your brain down long enough to get clarity?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so when we drop into our heart, like just a simple practice of bringing my awareness to my heart was the beginning of hearing my body. And again, it's not going to be like super clear at the beginning. For those that already have intuition, you're taking that deeper dive, like I'm continuing to do. I don't think that ends. I think we can continue to expand that ability to get clear on our I was going to say intuition, but our deeper understanding of what's possible for us, and hearing our heart, hearing our body, hearing what's in alignment for us. And that word, I never understood what that word meant until I felt it. Like there's things where people will say, hey, like this trip to Savannah, right? It's a business trip. It is a retreat. It's going to be fun. But when I was offered it, my whole body said yes. It was like my whole body lined up, and energetically I knew I got to be here. And then there's been other things where it's like my heart feels a little this way and my head feels a little this way, and it feels out of alignment. And so as we get clearer and really develop our intuition and our body speaks to us more and more clearly, it's easier to hear what is my highest? What is my thing that's not a compromise? Looking at my notes.
Yeah. I mean, and convincing ourselves. So I think I do a lot of convincing, right? I do, like I negotiate with myself in my brain when I'm doing this. And I think one of the ways that this whole concept of getting into your body is it's a feeling. It's not a thought.
Yeah.
It's a
It's an
feeling.
experience. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's so funny that you talk about negotiating with yourself, because I think that's really normal, especially for us as women, because we've been taught give, show up for others, do for others, and all of that is great. All of that is wonderful. But when we go to do something for ourselves, we have to negotiate with ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not putting on my own mask first, then I can't put on other people's masks, right? And those things are great and they're true. Absolutely true. But the fact that we need to negotiate to give to ourselves just means that, okay, that's where we're at on our journey. And the next level is knowing that my life and the life that I want to live is worth me choosing. And everybody else gets to benefit for that as well when we show up fully, authentically us as well. So.
And it's this idea of being the permission for other people, right? So when I used to work too hard or do too much or get burned out and just keep going because I thought that's what I should do, when I finally started to make choices and decide and give myself permission to rest or to dream or to discover, when that happened, there's it's almost like you get more energy.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost
Yes,
like
it
you
feeds
get
your
more.
soul. Yeah. And then you're doing more and more, everybody benefits from all of that energy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm in alignment, time, that tiredness all goes away. When that feeling you're talking about, when you made a decision to go to Savannah, it's just this knowing. It's this inner knowing that is so
Absolutely.
powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of my favorite things, the inner knowing. And not just having the experience of the inner knowing when things are in alignment and this is my clear yes and I'm choosing it powerfully, but also the inner knowing of holding an intention, holding a powerful intention, and holding onto that inner knowing, even when I don't know the path, even when I don't know the next steps to take, right? Or maybe there's like one thing in front of me, one step I can take, but I don't know most of the steps along the way. But anchoring into the knowing and just holding that place It's just such a peaceful, deep, I don't know, place. I guess that's the best way to
It's
describe
almost
it.
a spiritual experience for me when I
Yeah.
do that, right? It's
Yeah.
that faith of I trust, I trust this, I have faith that no matter what I do, it's going to, if I take the next step instead, because a lot of times paralysis will happen, right? I do
Mhm.
nothing, right? And sometimes that's good. Sometimes pausing and letting the dust settle is
Absolutely.
really important. But if I'm paralyzed and I'm not doing anything because I'm overthinking and I'm not trusting, right? But when I
Mhm.
have faith and I move forward, just one little step, I think that's so powerful. One little thing right in front of me, then all these other things open up.
Yeah. Things that you wouldn't even have seen if you hadn't have taken that step, people you wouldn't have met if you hadn't taken that step. And just that one step alone can open up multiple things that you
Yeah,
never
it's
knew
like
would have
the
were
fog
available.
clears. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like it's foggy. You can only see this much, but if you have faith, all of a sudden it's this
Yeah.
beautiful, bright, shiny opportunity in front of you that, oh, I would have, like you said that just now, that opportunity would have never happened if I didn't take that step.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'll just say, I want to get onto the last point before we are done this morning, but I will say that that was one of the things this morning when I'm getting ready to leave and I'm saying goodbye to my husband and my boys, and there was a part of me that's like, oh, why am I leaving them? I want to be with my family, and it was just a reminder set in of my body was a full yes. I don't know what's going to happen, who I'm going to meet, what I'm going to get to create. And what I know and what I trust and what I've seen over and over again is the step in front of me is the step that I get to take. And I can't know what's on the other side, what's going to get created because of it until I've taken that step, just like you're talking about. So I am in that moment today too. So
Yeah,
it's
right,
beautiful.
right this very
But let's
second.
jump on to the last one. Yeah, in my car while I go. Yep. Page 38. Acknowledging each success makes it even easier to create the next thing you want. The reason that I pulled this one out to chat about is because it was something that I really struggled with. And I think as entrepreneurs, as people who grow, who love growing and are constantly pushing ourselves forward, there's this tendency to create to create what we're creating or to discover whatever it is we're discovering and then check the box and then move on, right? It's like we're just checking boxes in life. And so I would check the box and then I would say, okay, what's next? And I would never pause and celebrate. And so I felt like I wasn't realizing all that I was creating. I wasn't realizing all the growth that was happening and I wasn't enjoying it. I mean, I was enjoying it, but not really deeply enjoying it. And I guess it was last year for me where someone that I was coaching me, that was my coach at the time, said, you get to celebrate everything. Like every single accomplishment, you get to pause and celebrate it. He had me come up with a celebration dance and I worked on it and worked on it. And this was so funny to me. I remember folding my laundry and finishing a pile of laundry and hearing my brain go, you did it. And I just laugh because it sounds like such a silly thing to celebrate, but it doesn't matter. When our mind is in celebration, we can enjoy even the little things and feel that step of accomplishment as throughout our day over and over again, right?
And joy and creating joy in your life. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I don't put my clothes away, I'm good at folding my clothes, right? But putting them away tends to be my challenge. And when I do put them away, it's like, oh, it feels so good in here.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying that and
Yeah.
savoring those little itty bitty moments is something that I didn't used to do all the time, but now I get to do that, right? Like now
Yeah.
I choose to celebrate the little things because everything can be celebrated.
And everything adds on to other things. So even what you were bringing forward, that your environment feels amazing, right? When we complete a small task like that. And when our environment feels amazing, it fills back into our soul and drives us forward into the next thing that we get to create. So absolutely, those little things are so, so important. And all of our successes, big or little, doesn't matter. It is so, so important. And acknowledging each success makes it even easier to create the next thing that you want. So if for no other reason, to celebrate the little things along the way and really create a practice for yourself. And I'm going to pause really quickly and bring forward, if you heard what I said, the voice in my head said you did it. Because the voice in my head 10 years ago, maybe even less than that, was really mean to me. And I'm sure that we can all relate to that. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're training the voice in our head to be the coach that spurs us forward, that draws us forward and inspires us. So if you, so anyone here that listening to this that needs that today, be in a practice of celebrating the tiny, tiny things. And don't think that doing your laundry is a silly one. It's actually great brain training.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being with me this morning, Vicki. For everyone who is watching, we're going to pop off of YouTube. Remember, we'll be back here on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So come have fun with us. And if you are wanting to come into the Zoom room, all you need to do is go to tabithabenway.com and register to have that link, and you can come in and have more deep dive conversations with us. We would love that. All right, we're going to hop off YouTube. Bye.